Hi, this is Jeremy Schaefer. I'm going to be taking you on my bike commute in to work today. I live in the center of Ross Township, and I'm going to be riding to my office on the north shore of Pittsburgh. It's about a 7.5 mile ride. It's a beautiful day today. It's a little about probably in the 60s here this morning. Look forward to taking you along. Let's get started. Go ahead and get clipped in here. I have an iPhone mounted to the front of my bike. I'm talking through the headset cord. So I'm pulling away from the front of my house, going along Berwyn Road. You should be able to follow along in the lower left corner. The software is working correctly. You should be able to see a kind of a map where I'm currently located, my route, as well as my speed and my altitude. See, we're turning on Colwyn. I'm turning on Cardiff. And turning on to Evergreen here, we'll be going on to Babcock Boulevard, just passing House Bar and Grill to my right. Just stop to wait for a clearing to get across Babcock. I think we can go ahead and go. There's Studio Raw. Babcock has a nice shoulder, about 3 or 4 foot shoulder along most of it through Ross Township. I actually tend to like to ride in the shoulder, let cars pass me by safely on the left-hand side. Bicyclists do have rights to ride in the roadway, but where possible I do like to ride on the shoulder. Up here on the left is Holly Hill. It's a nice neighborhood next to mine. Coming up on the intersection of Rochester Road. Well, it's going to be a little tricky with cars trying to turn right. I'm trying to go straight. I have a red light here. Babcock does parallel Gertie's Run. It's a stream that goes into the Allegheny River. I follow Babcock basically along Gertie's Run. Eventually Babcock turns into Evergreen, I believe. And then from Ross, we'll go into Shaler, and Shaler into Millvale. It's a nice route. Looks like light is turning green here, so we can proceed. Since the road does follow the stream, there's actually just a very gradual elevation changes. The biggest hill that I face is really into and out of my neighborhood. And once I'm on Babcock, it's only slight grade changes. Really aren't that bad. Coming up on Cemetery Lane, sheets. This golf, mini golf course is right next to me on the right. And you may be able to see the Dairy Queen on the left. Especially on hotter summer days, it is a temptation not to just stop there and get a little treat on the way home. I have succumbed to that occasionally. Coming up on McKnight Road, we'll actually go under McKnight Road here. This bridge carrying McKnight Road traffic was recently rehabilitated, maybe a year or so ago. For those of you who normally commute into the city of Pittsburgh, McKnight Road's one of the major ways that people commute in from the north to 279. I know that when that bridge was under construction, the traffic was particularly bad when they had the lanes reduced coming to and home from work. So, gave an advantage, extra advantage to riding and biking. One of the nice things about riding the bike in is it's good exercise, obviously. Also saves a little bit of money on gas for the car. Helps the environment out. One less vehicle putting emissions out. And for those people who might have to pay for parking downtown, you don't have to worry about doing that. We're trying to find a parking space. Sometimes these shoulders can have sticks or debris in there. I'm actually riding what's called a cyclocross bike. It's not quite a road bike, not quite a mountain bike, so it can kind of handle some rougher terrain. Not as rough as a mountain bike, but not as I can do a little bit more than a road bike can. Just passed through the Thompson Run Road interchange with Babcock. Continuing on Babcock here. Really is a beautiful morning. I think it definitely beats driving a car and sitting in traffic on 279. Passing Evergreen Volunteer Fire Department. I mentioned before that Babcock parallels Gertie's Run. We just crossed over it. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and turn left here. I'm using my hand signals. You get to make a hard left, Babcock does right here. We'll cross over Babcock Boulevard yet again. Gertie's Run yet again. As I mentioned before, Gertie's Run and Babcock and Evergreen sort of crisscross each other constantly. I don't think I've ever fully counted the number of bridges, but I think this would be bridge number 3 because we just crossed back over yet again. So there are numerous bridges that you go over. Sometimes because they're culverts, you might not even realize it. Just passing the Hastings hardware store on the right. This stretch here is really comes to the end of Ross Township up here. Fairly soon there'll be a sign that says "Welcome to Shaler." There's actually the "Welcome to Ross" sign on the other side of the street, but I think Ross keeps going a little bit, especially since that's one of our street signs right there. And if I'm counting correctly, this is bridge number 4 that we just went over for Gertie's Run. Officially entering Shaler Township, crossing over yet another bridge. This is actually a brand new bridge that they just reconstructed and replaced. PennDOT did. PennDOT's in charge of Babcock, at least in Ross Township, south of Rochester Road, which we crossed through earlier, and Allegheny County maintains Babcock Boulevard north of Rochester Road. Now up here, this next bridge for Gertie's Run, you'll notice we lose our shoulder. So now I kind of just stay to the right, but we lose that nice 3-4 foot shoulder area that we've had before. I know that there's a bunch of different individuals, myself included, that would like to see sharrows and bike lanes placed along Babcock. Help remind cars that there are bikes that use this route. Coming up on the left is another one of my favorite places. That's Rita's Italian Ice. This is, once again, a particularly nice place to stop on a hot summer day on the way home. I personally find that in the mornings, it's really easy riding in. The temperature, even in the summer, is normally pretty pleasant. Obviously, if you ride home around 5 o'clock or so in the afternoon, there can be certain days where it's pretty hot. Coming up on the split here, actually most of the traffic tends to turn left here. I'm going to continue on into Milldale, past the Hardys. You'll notice as we enter Milldale, the borough of Milldale, there's a lot of cars parked on the side of the road. You have to be careful what they call the door zone. I try to stay alert, especially here, with vehicles pulling in and out on the side of the road, and the doors opening and closing. So you'll notice that I'm actually trying to ride outside of what's called the door zone, just in case the door opens up. It would be a extremely unpleasant experience to have to collide with that door. Continuing into downtown Milldale. Now I do really like to ride my bike to work. Sometimes the weather poses challenges to that, or sometimes you just have schedules and meetings that you can't do it. But when the weather's nice, I do try to ride in. Some people will ask me about, well, what happens when it rains or snows? Well, No, I don't try to ride in a Ford. I'm not really equipped for that. But if it's cold weather, and yet we're passing over Gertie's Run yet again, by the way. I haven't been calling out off all the bridges, but there was one. Cold weather, I do have biking gloves. I have kind of like a ski mask thing that goes over my head. You can dress warmly in layers. It actually can be pretty nice riding in cold weather. Sometimes even light rain. I particularly like riding in. Depending on what I have to take to and from work, either I carry a backpack on my back. Today I'm not doing that. Just myself, riding the bike. I have the luxury, I set up my computer so that basically I can share my files back and forth between a computer at my house and a computer in my office. So really now there's no reason I have to take my computer with me, which would be of concern if it was inclement weather. And sometimes during the summer when thunderstorms are passing through, you just watch the radar and you can wait it out so that the thunderstorm is passing through, you just wait till it passes through. Coming up on the heart of Millvale here, there's a couple intersections. I've personally often liked to turn on Lincoln Avenue right here instead of going up to Grant. I find that the Grant intersection can be tricky sometimes. With that said, let's see, I may go ahead and turn. This guy's turning too. I'm trying to maintain some motion so I don't have to put my feet down. And then I like to turn here next to the Millvale Borough Building Police Station. I'm going to cut this corner. Helps me avoid the other intersection up here that oftentimes gets cars in all different directions. So I'll be turning here on Grant Avenue. This will take us right into the Millvale Riverfront Park. You may even be able to see some of the cars transecting the view in the background. That's Route 28, which parallels the Allegheny River. So on the other side of that Route 28 railroad tracks is the Allegheny River, and there is the bike jogging trail that we can pick up there. I do find it interesting, one of the least busy sections of my bike route is actually going through Milldale. So even though there's kind of riding in the middle of the road, I never really find it a problem because traffic's not that bad and it's normally pretty easy for cars to pass if they need to go across the yellow line and they really want to pass you. So coming up here on the interchange Route 28. I think I can go ahead and go. Got a green light now. Use my hand to get in the left side of the lane here. Making a left turn under the northbound side of Route 28, and then we'll go over and under some different railroad tracks. Park. You can obviously this road, access road, parallels the gravel trail here. You see someone jogging on it. I normally stay on the access road most of the time, but maybe up here I'll just cross over onto the trail, cross back. It's relatively simple. Just cross right over. Now the speed limit, let's see, 15 miles an hour. The way I have my cell phone positioned, I cannot tell how fast I'm going. I estimate it'd probably be right around 15. I was just passing over
40th Street Bridge. It's a beautiful, the three main spans that cross the Allegheny River. You probably couldn't see them on the phone, but it's a beautiful steel arch superstructure, painted blue. They redid the bridge a few years ago. Quite nice. Coming up here on some boat houses you'll see soon. Many of the local high schools and colleges have various crew teams. They'll store their boats here and launch them off here. The tip of Washington's Landing, Hers Island, starts just to my left over there. So the Allegheny River sort of branches in two. The main channel goes to the left of the island. There's a small back channel that goes to the right, the north of the island. I'm going to cross over here to the bike trail. Passing on your left. When I come up to people on the trail, I do like to call out I'm passing them so they know that. All right, now up here, recently this is where a good chunk of the Route 28 road work is done. They've rebuilt and widened Route 28. That caused them to have to move over and realign the railroad tracks, which caused them to have to shift over the bike trail, which meant because of the steep slope, they built this bridge. Now, I call this the bumpy bridge. I do not know why, but when they constructed it in these 10 to 12 foot segments, they put these concrete sort of plug joints in. But there's elevation changes at each one, like an inch or two. And so you get this bump, ba-dump, each one of these points. And it's not a smooth ride. I am grateful for the bridge, but I do not understand the engineering reason why they did it this way. I would hope in the future, if they do these again, they just make it a continuous smooth bridge like they would a highway bridge or many other bridges that I've seen. Now here we're coming up under the 31st Street Bridge and access road to Washington's Landing. Underneath this access bridge here to the left, you probably can't see it on the iPhone, but there are two very big rope swings that hang down from the bridge. You can swing out into the back channel of the Allegheny River from those. Lots of times in the summer you see kids doing that. I will admit that I have myself partaken in the fun. It's particularly nice if you go for a run here in the summer on this trail. On the way back, hop on one of those swings, and it's a great way to cool off. So we're proceeding now along the Allegheny River Trail. One of the things I like about the trail is there's a decent amount of vegetation covering it, so you actually get a good amount of shade on hot days. We're paralleling River Avenue to the right here. There are various places that you can park along River Avenue. This is to the left is the old railroad bridge that they've now converted into pedestrian bicycle access way onto Hers Island, Washington's Landing. So you can actually take a little detour and go around the island. It's pretty nice. So, yacht club and offices there. This is to the right of me. It starts the Heinz plant complex. I guess I know Heinz has gone through a number of corporate changes, so maybe it's not quite Heinz anymore. But this is the massive original Heinz plant. Some days you can definitely smell what they're producing there. especially as you get in towards the city of Pittsburgh, the trail becomes more popular. You have to weave your way through. We're still going along one of the Heinz plant. I have a long warehouse here. A massive warehouse. Coming up on their original corporate office buildings here to the right. They've converted some of these into apartments. The Heinz loft apartments. Actually, I had some friends who live in them. They say they're very nice. A little pricey, but it's a great location. Parking area. So even if you don't want to bike in all the way from the North Hills to the city of Pittsburgh, you can always pick a point along the route, park in one of the areas, and do part of the bike ride in. Here we're, I'm not sure if you saw it, we're going under the 16th Street Bridge. This connects the north side to the Strip District. It's a beautiful bridge owned by Allegheny County. It's got classic Pittsburgh yellow paint on it for the bridges. 3 above deck arches that carry the main span across the river. We're coming up now on the Veterans Bridge. Veterans Bridge, of course, carries I-579, which connects to 279 into downtown Pittsburgh. If you live in the North Hills and you're commuting to downtown, you most likely will be going back and forth across that bridge on your daily commute. Now my office where I work, I'm immediately passing on the right here. It's on River Avenue, but I'm going to keep going just so you can see how close we are to downtown. We'll go under one of the railroad bridges, and then you'll see the Three Sisters bridges and the convention center across the river. Now Allegheny County, I believe they did just add some bike trails or bike lanes to some of the Three Sisters bridges. So if you did want to connect to downtown, you could do those. You could even go all the way down to the Fort Duquesne Bridge, where there's ramps on both sides, and you could connect across via trail. So hopefully you can see the beautiful view here downtown Pittsburgh. Try to pull off. So hopefully you've enjoyed that ride with me. It's a great way to get to and from work, or just enjoy getting out, enjoy some leisure time. I'd encourage you to try it. Be safe if you do. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me, and look forward to seeing you on the trail. Have a good day.